there, folks. Welcome back to Rule of Thumb. Today, I'm bringing you along for a Cookbook Corner. We haven't done one of these in a while, and I thought it'd be something fun to kind of break up the monotony of our days. 2020 has been a tough year for a lot of us. Most all of us, I would say. And, it gets stressful and daunting, and sometimes you just need to find a little joy to break up all of the difficult times. So I try to find things that spark joy in our lives, and one of those things for me is cookbooks. As you all know, I love a cookbook. I tend to lean towards older cookbooks, just because I love how they're written and the stories and the history and all that kind of stuff. But I do have a soft spot for some contemporary cookbooks and cooks and chefs. So I was inspired by my friend Michelle over at All Sorts, and I'll put a link to her channel up above. She did an unboxing video in which she showed this cookbook, and this is the cookbook here. Okay, so this is Mary Berry Cooks the Perfect, and so for those of you who don't know Mary Berry is a very well-renowned British chef. She was one of the original judges on the Great British Baking Show. Any of you that have seen that will recognize her name. If you haven't, it's on Netflix and it's amazing. But she just, there's something about her that makes me joyful. And I've never bought any of her cookbooks because I thought, well, maybe it'll be too much for me. You know what I mean? You never know unless you can really look through a cookbook. And I've never been able to see the physical cookbook before. So in talking with Michelle about it, she kind of walked me through the book, and I was like, oh, I definitely need to have it. So I ordered it right away, and I got the book, and I am not disappointed. So the book is a softcover book, but it is a very well put together book. It's got heavy pages. It's very beautifully done. It's got a good binding on it. It's just a really, really beautiful book. So it has a nice little introduction to it, and it's broken up into soups, first courses, fish and shellfish, poultry and game, meat, pasta and rice, vegetables, salads, puddings, which is desserts, cakes, small bakes, and bread. So we're just going to kind of go through this like we normally do. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. So in soups, we've got a pea and ham soup, a roasted tomato, salmon and prawn chowder. She has mixed in here on some of the pages, you'll see like this, and it'll be Mary's top tips. And the first one is read the recipe. Read through a recipe carefully a couple of times, first to check you have the ingredients and equipment and identify what you need to buy, then again before you start so you're familiar with the order of work. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes we all need to be reminded of the basics of cooking. And, and also if you're looking for a book, one of the things I found about this book is if you're looking for a book for somebody for a gift that is maybe new to cooking or learning to cook, this is a very well done step-by-step book. This is a book that even a beginner could follow. Now, there's going to be some ingredients that are going to be a little bit more challenging to find, and you're going to have to source. But for the most part, I think everything is readily available. Summer vegetable soup, leek soup, curried lentil and spinach soup. that is definitely on my list. Let's move on. First courses. She's got a chicken Caesar salad crostini. So making a little chicken Caesar salad and serving it on a little crostini, which is like a little toasted bread. It's just something I wouldn't normally think of, but it's a great idea for a starter. Um, Aubergine, butter bean, and chorizo tapa. So aubergine is eggplant. So this is kind of like almost like a ratatouille. A chilled salmon terrine, pan-fried scallops with warm tomato dressing, garlic prawns with lemon and coriander mayo, twice-baked mushroom and camembert soufflés. Absolutely on my list. I don't know that I have ever made a souffle outside of a restaurant. And restaurant, when I've made them in restaurants, we've always made them in the big souffle tins. These are individual and twice baked, which I'm not quite sure what that means yet. So that'll be an interesting one to dig into. Her top tip number 2 is buy good equipment. Some asparagus recipe, caramelized red onion and rocket tartlets. Rocket is arugula. Alright. Fish and shellfish. Now this is the section that actually interests me because we don't eat a lot of fish. And part of that is that we think we don't like it, but I wonder sometimes if we think we don't like it because we don't know how to cook it properly. So I'm really interested to kind of delve into this and become a little bit more familiar with fish and some ideas for making fish. And the first one that really kind of caught my eye was the first recipe, which is fish pie with a crushed potato topping. So basically she makes like a fish shepherd's pie, essentially, and then she takes the little potatoes, you know what I mean, and cooks them and then smashes them and uses those as the topping. Just, I don't know, just something so different about it. So, she's got a pan-fried fish with a mushroom sauce, an Asian-style fish parcel, grilled trout with chicory and almonds, salmon en croûte, which is salmon in a puff pastry. So yeah, I just thought that might be a really interesting section for me to kind of spend some time with. Third pro tip, use fresh herbs. Let's see, a Thai grilled salmon, fish curry with coconut milk. Yes, please. Y'all know I love a curry. Some other pan-fried fish recipes. Haddock with tomato and lentils. Sea bass in a creamy lemon sauce. I mean, they all just sound good. Then we get into poultry and game. She does a country chicken casserole. Whole roasted chicken with tarragon butter. Glazed chicken. Swiss chicken, spinach, and mushroom bake. Pro tip 4, get organized. She does a trouble with my words today. A chicken tagine, which is kind of braising the chicken in a pan in the oven, which is a Moroccan thing. Chicken korma, which is an Indian-style chicken. Spanish-style chicken paprika. She does a stir-fried duck. Now, I have kind of a aversion to duck because it strikes, the couple times that I've had it, it's been very fatty, and it just didn't appeal to me texturally. Now, a stir-fried duck might, because it's going to have a little bit crispier texture to it, so I don't know, might be something to look into. Although I don't know how readily available a duck breast is, so it's something I'd have to search for my area because it's not something I typically go out and buy. So that's what I said. There's going to be some things in here that to a British chef might be readily available items, but here in the States might be less available. Like the next recipe is pheasant breasts. I won't even begin to know where to go and buy pheasant. But it could be at my local butcher. I don't know, until I go and look. But something like this, it's pheasant breast with apple and cider, you could easily substitute in a chicken breast. So, the recipes apply. Here's another one, venison cottage pie. Now, I grew up in a family that hunted, so we always had venison when I was a kid. It was always in our freezer. And I know you can buy it. There are sources where you can buy it as well. But again, this is one where you could replace this with ground beef. You could replace this with ground turkey. You can find ground bison pretty readily now, so that's another option. So it's just about finding the substitutions that work if you can't find the ready ingredients. And this looks like she's actually, in looking at the recipe, it looks like she's using actually like chunks of it, not ground version of it. So you could buy like a chuck roast or eye round roast or something like that and cut it up, because it's going to get cooked and get tender as you cook it. We go into meat. She does a peppered fillet of beef, a steak and Guinness pie, which I'm sure Josh will love. How to cook a ribeye steak. Pro tip number 5, stock up on staples. Spicy schnitzels with lemon and garlic mayonnaise. Now, here's another example for me. So, this recipe is, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check here. Yeah, this uses pork, like a pounded thin pork cutlet, which we wouldn't buy because, it's not kosher. Not that we're very, very strictly kosher, but I typically do not buy pork for at the house. But I could easily make this with a chicken breast or a chicken thigh pounded out very thin. So, another very easily substitutable recipe. Let's see. I mean, I'm only about halfway through the book, folks, just so you know. So we're going to move a little quicker here because I don't want this to go on forever. Skip through some of this. There's a lamb recipe, lamb kofta, which is like a ground lamb. It's almost like a meatball, but they make it in like an oblong and they put it on a skewer. Delicious. I've had them many times. Slow roasted lamb, Greek lamb, so definitely some lamb recipes. Pasta and rice. Okay, let's get it in here. Penne with cherry tomato sauce. Cannelloni with double cheese sauce. That's on my list. Spaghetti carbonara. Smoked salmon and haddock kedgeree. I'm not really sure what that is, but it looks delicious. It looks like it's a dish with rice. It's got rice, eggs, crispy fried onions, lemon chicken risotto, egg fried rice, pad thai. Okay, then it gets into the vegetable section, and this is actually really interesting. She does a whole guide. Okay, there's 2 double pages that look like this, and this is a guide to cooking vegetables. So, like, it has on the column on the left, it has cabbage, and then it goes across boiling, braising, steaming, roasting, char grilling, and grilling, sautéing, and stir frying. And it tells you under each one of those how you would do it, or if it's not suitable for that cooking method. So, and it goes all the way through all the vegetables you can think of. Cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, chard, pak choy, tomatoes, courgettes, squash and pumpkin, aubergines, peppers, sweet corn, baby corn, globe artichokes, broad beans, green beans. It just keeps going on. So it's actually, like I said, 2 double-sided pages, and I think that was a genius thing to do. Stir-fried spinach with raisins and pine nuts, a vegetable gratin. Then it goes a little bit deeper in and how to boil, steam, and braise vegetables. There's a whole section on that. Honey roasted winter vegetables. Then it has a section on how to roast vegetables. How to grill and char grill. Brussels sprouts with hazelnuts. Pan-fried courgettes, which is squash, with crispy shallots. How to saute vegetables. Roast new potatoes with garlic and rosemary. A roasty with onions. How to stir-fry vegetables. Cauliflower and sweet potato curry, yes. Vegetable and lentil cottage pie. So basically, cottage pie and a shepherd's pie are very similar. So this is a vegetable and lentil filling topped with mashed potatoes and baked in the oven. Oh, looks delicious. Salads. Lentil and chili bean salad. Mediterranean pasta salad. Man, there's tons of them in here. Asian style coleslaw. Warm chicken salad with avocado salsa. Then it gets into the puddings or desserts. Apricot and ginger syrup sponge with creamy custard. Okay, everybody knows, if you're new to my channel, you'll find out I am a ginger fanatic. So when I saw that immediately went to the top of the list. Treacle and pecan tart. Treacle is a commonly used British ingredient, very similar to molasses. A little darker and a little thicker. Autumn fruit pie. She shows how to make a very easy pie crust. Pink rhubarb and orange compote. Plum and apple crumble. Oh, so good, so good. Vanilla panna cotta. Cappuccino creme brulee. Lemon and limoncello posset, which is like a kind of a chilled, creamy mixture. Chocolate and Irish cream roulade, which is a roll-up. Alright, I'm trying to make this so that it's not like a 40-minute video, so I'm going to breeze through here. Sorry, there's just so much. And really, like, so many of the recipes are like this. Like, it's step-by-step with pictures. I mean, it's so beautifully done. It's a gorgeous cookbook. Let's get into this last section here. Cheese and poppy seed straws, raspberry and apple muffins, coffee and walnut butterflies, chocolate chip shortbread cookies, fig and nut bars. I love figs. Absolutely love figs. Chocolate and amaretti bars, spiced Dorset apple tray bake, and her fruitcake recipe, which looks delicious. Banana loaf with honey icing. Again, I mean, here's a recipe for like a rainbow cake. Look at all of the instruction on there. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. Lime and blueberry ring drizzle. Gorgeous. I'm really struggling with the words today. Gorgeous ginger and chocolate cake. Again, ginger. Top of the list. Irish soda bread, which should be in everybody's arsenal. Seeded granary twist, which is like a seeded bread that is braided. Cottage rolls. I mean, it's truly an amazing book. Again, just so you guys can see it here, I will link it below as well. It's just a fun book, and that's why I wanted to bring you guys along, just for a little bit of fun, something to break up the monotony, and you know, go out and find some joy. If it's not this book, find another book. Find something that sparks joy in your day. It's important for you to find those little things for you, for your loved ones. Um, it's going to be, we're heading into a holiday season where we may or may not be able to spend time with family. So finding all the ways that we can, bring lightness into our day is even more relevant now than it has ever been. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this cookbook. I've got another Cookbook Corner coming up next. That is actually a cookbook that I found through Facebook that is super fun. So stay tuned. That'll be coming up in a couple days. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Come back and see us soon. And as always, I hope you had a great day.